Hello there, Huckleberries, and welcome to A Broke Girl's Guide to Moving to Hawaii. This video is going to be pretty short and sweet and to the point. I'm going to be talking about how much money I spent moving out to Hawaii and what it costs to get settled out here, and then I do have a few pieces of advice that I've been getting from people since coming out here. Flying from Minneapolis to Hawaii is not only a ton of travel to do all at once, but it was also a 4-hour time jump and at the time a 90-degree temperature difference. So I decided to fly into San Diego to visit my friend Sam for about 4 days. You guys are welcome to go check out the vlogs to that because we had some fun. Doing this is arguably more expensive because obviously I spent money while I was in San Diego, which I'm not counting in this video. I also had to check my bag twice instead of once, but the change in time, temperature, and just to break up the travel, and the fact that I found flights for cheaper doing it this way, I felt like it was worth it. So being willing to break up your trip into 2 different flights might be worth it depending on who you know and where. I found my flights using a website called Matrix, which I will link in the description down below. It is an amazing search engine that you can search through multiple airports and multiple dates, and that is ultimately how I found my flights. And flying to San Diego and then from San Diego to Hawaii was ultimately cheaper for me, so I ended up spending $340 total on my flights. Not too bad. I also spent $50 on checking a bag. Again, that's because I had to check my bag twice and it was $25 each time. So for those of you who don't know, I am currently WWOOFING out here. WWOOFING is a worldwide organization that sets up farmers with travelers, and there's no money exchanged whatsoever. You're basically working on a farm for a set number of hours per week in exchange for food and housing. The housing markets on the Big Island right now are completely insane because there has been a very recent population spike. Sorry, I'm part of the problem. So doing some sort of work trade is honestly the only practical way of getting started out here, and obviously saves a ton of money. It's the perfect way to buy time while you find a job, find an apartment, get a car, or if you're just here on vacation, it's a really unique way to travel. There were, however, a few expenses that I had to incorporate into my budget because of WWOOFING, and every host is completely different, so this is just my personal experience, but my host required a $50 deposit that will be returned back to me in the event that I leave with 2 weeks' notice and leave my space clean and without damage. Most farms will not ask for a deposit, and the farms that I have found that ask for a deposit, it was like $200 or something. So when she asked for $50, I just didn't really think it was a big deal, but still something I had to account for. The other expense that I had to account for was a shuttle from the airport. Again, most of the farms that I corresponded with before arriving offered airport pickups, so this was a very unique situation that she made me purchase a shuttle from the airport to the farm, and that did end up being $60. So now I'm in Hawaii. It's time to get settled. I have tons to buy, toilet paper, shampoo, soap, groceries. So I ended up tracking all of my spending within the first week because within that first week is when I was buying a lot of those staple items. I spent about $80 on groceries, and that did include Costco, so big bulky items. And I spent $20 at the farmer's market. I spent about $50 on more random supplies like soap and shampoo and toilet paper, and $12 at a thrift store. That was kind of random, but I needed flip-flops, I needed a towel, and then I ended up finding the entire Harry Potter series for $1 a piece. So I bought the whole series for $7. I hardly have any time to read, but I hope to get through them all. I also purchased a 3-class pass to a nearby yoga center, and that was $54. And I ate out a couple of times, which I spent $40 on. So all in all, I spent about $520 getting out to Hawaii. That did even include eating on the plane, and I got a smoothie in the airport and stuff. So $520 to get to Hawaii, and then I spent $257 total within my first week. So that comes to the grand total of $777 to move to Hawaii. That sounds pretty lucky if you ask me. You can move to Hawaii for under $1,000, which is pretty frickin' cool. I have also gotten a lot of advice from people since coming out here when they hear that I'm new, because again, I've been here 6.5 weeks. People are very helpful and they just want you to succeed. So this is some of the advice I've been getting. Granted, this is not tried and true from my own personal experience, but I thought I would just pass on the word. I already mentioned that the housing market out here is absolutely insane, but I just want to reiterate that programs like WWOOFING, HelpX, and Workaway are honestly the most practical way to get started out here, to give yourself time to find an apartment or a house, because it is very cutthroat. There isn't enough housing for everyone. There's a lot of homelessness out here, and it gives you a really practical way to find a place. Even camping is super expensive for non-residents. They jack up the price if you don't have a Hawaii ID, so just keep that in mind. Living on the Big Island with no car is seriously, no lie, no joke whatsoever, awful. It will forever be a hindrance to me as long as I choose to remain carless, and granted, this is a choice. I am trying to remain carless for now, but it really does suck, so I would highly recommend not doing what I'm doing and have a car. Goals, my friends, goals. Most of the cars out here are not only expensive as hell, but they are complete money pits. And I'm talking about like the old used cars that you're gonna be spending a few $1,000s on, even $10,000 on. Cars out here are just super expensive and they're very beat up. So unless you are extremely versed in cars and are very handy and have all the tools you need to fix up your car, I would just not get a used car. Just don't do it. One option that I was considering for a little while and that has been recommended to me was car leasing. Now, I have never been a fan of car leasing. It is just not my style. It doesn't really fit into my values in life, and I would have never ever considered leasing a car. But out here, it is a really affordable way to have a car, and then when you're ready to move on or do something differently, you can pass your lease on to someone else. So on Craigslist, there are oftentimes ads for car leases that you can take over. So that is an option out here, and that way you have the dealership doing all of your maintenance work and repairs, so you're in good hands. But the absolute hands down best option for you in Hawaii having a car is by far shipping your car from the mainland. Cars on the mainland, regardless of where you're getting them, they are all cheaper. They are cheaper, they are probably in better shape, better maintained. It only costs about $1,000 to ship a car from the mainland to Hawaii. So I've seen people do it. I hear it's very common. It's absolutely encouraged because, like I said, there's just not a lot of cars out here to go around for all the people, kind of like the housing market. The population has spiked, and it doesn't leave a lot of resources for anyone. So ship your car out. Sometimes I kick myself for not shipping out my Mini, my sweet, sweet Mini. Well, you still have a chance. But with all that being said, I think that the biggest piece of advice I've gotten and that I've experienced is that it is who you know on this island. It is absolutely the people you know. There is such an incredible amount of love and compassion. The aloha spirit is alive and well out here. People really will take care of each other, and it's very beautiful. So coming out here and socializing, meeting people, telling people your story, and being open to hearing theirs, you're going to be able to help them out in some way, and they will absolutely reciprocate. So as far as finding housing, finding farms, maybe even a car or a moped or something. I didn't even talk about mopeds, which, I don't know, it's iffy. They're scary. Oh, and bikes are a no-go. I'm just gonna say that. At least on this side of the island. I'm on the Kona side. Biking out here is just, oh, it's hard. But yeah, it's who you know, and it's how you treat people. It all will come back to you, and it's really not easy getting started out here for anyone. It's just difficult, and people told me that going into this. I heard other people giving similar advice, but I've experienced it now. And if you don't belong here, you will know, or the island will spit you out. That's what people tell me all the time. They always say, if the island doesn't want you here, it will spit you right back. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be right now in this time of my life. So even though it has been a struggle at times, this place is very magical, I have to say. So I hope that some of this information was helpful to you guys and enlightening or inspiring, but it really didn't cost me a lot of money to come out here. It's just a matter of maintaining life out here, and that's kind of this next chapter that I'm on. If you live in Hawaii or have ever lived in Hawaii and you want to contribute to this conversation, if you have any opposing opinions or anything to add, I would love to hear about it, because again, I'm like smack dab in the middle of this process. So write it in the comment section below, and if anyone out there has any follow-up questions, feel free and ask away. I always like to help out my friends out there, my Huckleberry friends. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you all very soon for another video. I love you all so much.